Welcome to the Eat Your Elephant podcast. This podcast is here to help you to conquer your big goals. Because the big things in your life that you want to accomplish and achieve, they're going to take more than one step. And this podcast is here to help you develop the right mindset, to take the actions, to keep moving forward and making progress towards your big goals. That way, you can guide your life to go in the direction that you want it to go and enjoy it too. I'm your host, Nick Mazie. Let's get started. Well, glad you're here. Welcome. If you missed the last episode, this whole series that we just started is all about choosing the right mindset so that you can hit your goals, achieve what you want to achieve, and enjoy life too. Sounds like some amazing payoff, so hopefully you'll catch that first one. This is kind of a little bit of an explanation of that, getting an intro. But this is the first episode where we're really diving into the meat of it. So it's perfect that you're here. Today, it's all about your vision, the ideal that you want. And to start this episode off, there's a quote from Bruce Lee that I really like. The successful warrior is the average man with laser-like focus. So today, I'm encouraging you to have laser-like focus on your vision. You know, the ideal that you're working toward. What's your goal? What's your vision? It's so helpful to really know your vision and see it. So let me tell you about Jim and Sarah. You know, they both want to save money and become more financially secure and better off. You know, but because the stress of living paycheck to paycheck is really beginning to get to them. You know, it's wearing them down, and they know they need to make a change. So they both go out and make a budget. They take steps to improve their situations, their financial situation. You know, let's see how it plays out for each of them. So Jim knows that he should stick to his budget, but it's Friday night. And he's had a long week and really wants to go out to dinner and have a few drinks to relax. It won't cost a lot of money. At the same time, it's not in his budget. You know, so he's able to say no this time to going out. And Jim stays in. You know, Jim makes dinner for himself, and while eating, he thinks about his friends having fun and relaxing. Jim's miserable. He's feeling like he's missing out. Jim promises himself that next week he'll go out with his friends no matter what. And then Sarah makes a budget, but she doesn't really make a budget because she starts calling it a spending plan because it's her choice on how she spends her money. It's her plan. You know, and it was a long week for Sarah too. And Sarah knows that going out to dinner would be nice, but it's not in her spending plan. So Sarah says yes to her spending plan and her goals. She stays in, makes dinner at home, reminds herself of her goal, and knows that she's getting closer to it by sticking to her plan. Sarah sees her clear vision of being in a better financial situation and smiles as her actions get her closer to achieving that goal. For the time being, both Jim and Sarah are sticking to the budgets that they made. But which one do you think is most likely to continue to stay on track? Which one do you think will enjoy the journey most? Well, I don't know about you, but I'm thinking Sarah for both of those. She's clear and she's focused on the vision that she has. So what's your vision? Now, if you haven't thought about it much, then now might be a really good time to think about the ideal that you'd like to work toward. It's time to develop a clear picture of your goal. What do you really want? In the show notes, I put a link to an episode on getting clear on what it's important to you. If you don't have those show notes on whatever device you're listening to this episode on, then you can just go to nickmazie.com, search for important to you in the little search box. And so you'll want to keep that vision in mind. And I'm a big fan of finding ways to remind myself of what I'm working toward. In grad school, I had a vision board next to my computer. It was just a little picture collage of pictures I found on the internet that represented the goals that I was working toward. And each time I got tired, which honestly was pretty often, and I felt like just stopping working on all the grad school work and all that stuff that I was doing. Each time that I got tired and times got tough, I'd remind myself by looking at that vision board of the ideal that I was working toward. And it helped. It reminded me of my goals and helped me to keep moving forward to achieving them. Now I don't have a vision board. Now I do this little mindset exercise where I take some deep breaths. and I tell myself of what I'm working toward in a little mantra, and then I do a visualization exercise of seeing myself having achieved those goals, and then I take some more deep breaths. It is so helpful. Each of those ways reminds myself of my goals, and it helps me to really see them being real and experiencing the benefits. Each of those methods helps me to keep my vision in mind. And keeping your vision in mind, and really seeing it crystal clear so that you can, almost experience those benefits before they happen, it has amazing benefits. It makes the actions to achieve those goals easier. Yes, you still have to do the work. It doesn't solve that. But it makes those actions easier because you see the payoff that you're working toward. And knowing that you can achieve those goals of what you're working toward, all of a sudden those little daily steps to get there aren't so bad. When you don't have that clear vision in your mind that your actions are going to pay off, well, those actions are just so much more difficult. And having that clear vision in your mind, it's also going to help that journey to be more enjoyable, because you'll see that your actions have purpose and meaning, and that's rewarding in and of itself. Let alone knowing that the steps that you're taking each and every day are moving you closer to your goal. That's something to be proud of. That's something to enjoy, the fact that you're making progress. That's a nice thing. Also having that clear vision can help make it a little bit easier to get back on track, and to get back on track faster too. Also did a recent podcast episode on using a trigger to get back on track. If you struggle with getting back on track or getting distracted, then I'd go check that one out. You can go to nickmazy.com and just search in the search box for trigger, or I'll include a link in the show notes too. So I definitely believe there are benefits to keeping that clear vision in mind. I think it helps people to achieve the goals that they're working toward, helps them to experience that ideal, that payoff for all the effort. It helps to enjoy the journey too. So when times get tough, remind yourself of what you're working toward. When times are not tough, remind yourself of what you're working toward. If you want the mindset that's going to help you to achieve your goals, remind yourself of your goals, that the steps that you're taking, where they're taking you, and that they're helping you to get there. Either way, you still have to take the actions necessary to achieve your goals. Action is just required. Help yourself to develop that mindset that's going to make it easier for you to take those actions, more enjoyable. You'll be able to get back on track when you need to faster. All that's in the mindset that you choose. Well, that's today's episode. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe. Don't miss a single episode. We're going to continue on this series of different things that you can do to help keep your mindset one that's going to keep you moving forward, taking action, and achieving goals, enjoying the journey, and just experiencing all those benefits of achieving the things that you want to achieve in life and making it more what you want it to be. As always, I'd appreciate it if you'd rate and review this podcast. Thank you for listening, and take care.